Gaston Sirino and Pule Modi will be suspended for this weekend's game against Marumo Gallants. But how will Nasreddin Nabi approach this game, given the disappointment of the game that we played against Chippa United down there in Eastern Cape? Well, as it happens, that's exactly what we're talking about. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Bilo, I'm your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. So we are playing Pirates in our very next game, but I think that, as I said in the previous video, the concentration of Kaizer Chiefs shouldn't be on the third we're playing Pirates. It should be on the 26th we're playing Marumo Gallants, because that's all that matters, right? The 3 points that we get, if we lose, God forbid, if we lose against Pirates, we lose 3 points. Nah? If we lose against Marumo Gallants, we lose 3 points. What's the difference? Bragging rights. All we need to do, focus on this game. Let's not play thinking about Ikeme Pirates, because that's gonna be a problem. However, I still do think that there are players who should be benched with the Pirates game in mind. And this is not because we are saving them, but it's because of serious issues that we need to think about. You will see, I'm not contradicting myself. So in goal, obviously, it's gonna be the one and only Prosip Vuma. And yeah, it's gonna get boring if I always say the same thing about Vuma. So we're gonna move on. I think that Solomon's at right back, we have had this problem. Yeah, okay. I think it's only been once where it's really been bad, like the game that how he played against Chippa United. Was losing position a lot of times. He just didn't look like himself. I don't know what happened when he went to the Eastern Cape. He was really not that great, and rightfully so. The coach didn't even bring him back after the first half. So I think that was understandable, and I completely get why he was benched. But that brings us to the left back position, and Ukros has played well since his return from injury. We've seen that Umashiane is also now there and is available to give him competition. But for the sake of continuity, ask us back four efanayo for, or at least 3 of the back 4 being the same for like 3 games in a row, because against Sundowns it was Solomon's, Cross, Msimango, and last but not least it was Dove, right? And then the game against Chippa, it was a forced change. Msimango was taken off, right? So that's understandable. But in this game, play across again. There's no need to now experiment with Mashian in this game, because now you're going to be playing another different defensive pairing. So then in the center back position, Dove play him, keep him, because I mean, if you're saying Msimango is carrying an injury, why risk him? Don't risk him. Keep him for the game Pirates, and this is what I'm talking about. Because there's specifically an injury, not that we are saving him just because we want him to rest because of nothing. No. Rest him because the injury. And also, most importantly, there's nothing that Kwinika had to do in the previous game. Just like there will be things to do against Marumo Gallants, but not that much. It's not like we're going to be like facing all of the problems. Because another reason why I'm saying play Kwinika is because in case this niggling injury that Msimango is carrying becomes problematic in the derby, and then he plays tomorrow, and then in the derby plays and then gets injured, then Ukwinika is match ready, right? Because one of the biggest problems that we had in that game against Sundowns, we're like, oh dear, if someone gets injured again, we are in trouble. So you need Kwinika to build his confidence as well, so that should anything happen between now and the end of the season, more especially if someone gets injured, a defender, then Ukwinika is ready for the 10th, because the date of the 10th is very important, because it's a once-off. It's no longer about 3 points here, 3 points there. No, it's not about you win this game, you win a cup for the first time in 10 years. It's going to be glorious if that happens. When that happens, not if, because we are going to win that final. But this brings us to midfield, and I start with another player that, when I did my prediction last week, I said he should be benched. In fact, not should be. I thought he would be benched. And I think he should be benched, because Ucele should not play this game against Marumo Gallants. Because again, Ucele got injured in the game before Sundowns. And then against Sundowns he played while he was injured. You understand me? We were forcing him. We played him while injured. And then we played him again in the game that followed, and you didn't get anything. It was one of those rare games where you didn't get much from Mutel, and it wasn't even his fault because the guy was playing carrying an injury. So rest him, because like give him this week again, 2 weeks nyana. It's this week rest, and then in the game that we play against Pirates, he can then be available. Even if you see good Nakona Pirates is not fit, then save him for a final. We need to win the final. And if kuzoba khona umuntu ozothempilo, but now if we are not trying to get the top 8, if Chiefs struggle to beat Marumo Gallants with Umart and either Umatlo or Ungobo as the partners there, then we have serious problems. If we can't beat Marumo Gallants, remember, we did beat Marumo Gallants earlier on in the season, albeit they were still coached by someone else. We did beat Marumo Gallants with Usamgelo Zwane, Mart, and who was playing 10, Mtusha Balala, playing in that midfield. So it's not like now, Sebe transforming, Sebe Prime Barcelona. No, they're still pretty much the same team. They've added some players in the January transfer window, but Chiefs should still be expected to beat Marumo Gallants. So who plays alongside Mart? Because yes, Mart will play in this game. I think that it should be who's this guy? It should be Umshini, because we've seen Umshini he's come in and he's played that position pretty well. And also the coach just doesn't trust him for whatever reason, because he's not as physical. But he's played, guys. Like, if I compare every other player that has played in that position, Abo Samgelo, Abo Blom, Abo Ox, Abo Mart, Yena Notele are the players that have played properly. They are the players who have collected the ball and helped the team play. Umatlo, when he's played in that position, he's much better as a 10, which is a position that I think he should be started on, right? Because Umatlo is very good in the final third in finding those like line breaking passes. The defense is there just making sure, and he can just play the pass through those small gaps, and defenses can find his man, and then we can score. Yes, Umtusha Balala, I understand Uguti, he's my boy and I want him to play, but I just want to see how Matlo performs in this game, right, as a 10 from the start of the game, and not being played as an 8 or as a 6. Just play Umshini alongside Umart, and then play Umatlo. And in that case, now Umshini, we know he's not the greatest when it comes to marking, but he tries. We've seen him try now. Umatlo brings that physicality, but also brings the creativity. But now you see what you have a very balanced, it's not bad. So now you have a very balanced midfield, because now you have someone who can give these guys freedom to go forward, but you also have Umushin who's going to come deep and help us build from the back. And then you have Matlo, who when we get to the final third, he's going to be helping us create chances in the absence of Sereno as well. So yeah, I think that would be a good midfield, which brings us to the left wing. So Umodi is unavailable. So for this ones, I think that since Umodi is unavailable on the left wing and the right wing, and we know Mfundo Villagas is going to the they said that he's being released, he's going to be allowed to go to the under 20 World Cup. So under 20 World Cup, AFCON World Cup, which one is it? Correct my comments. So but he's being released to go and play with the under 20s in the national team, so that's fine. So that also means he's also not available, but we have options, right, in those positions. Because for one, now this is where the thinking starts going in. You can now play Mtusha Balala as one of the wingers, and he's not going to stay wide in those positions forever, but he can do what Sereno was doing beginning of the season, and that is he starts wide, he cuts in, right? Start wide, he gets in, and he becomes a second 10 alongside with George Matlo. So in a way, he's not going to be wide, because we know that wide it doesn't function that well. But if his job is to then cut in, we know that he's very comfortable in doing those things. And also, if he's wide, that also give him a range of passing options, because if you are in the middle, sometimes you get too congested and then people are just rushing you, trying to get the ball away from you. But if he's wide, he gets the ball, he can take it in, can cut in, can try to shoot, he can spot the person running on the other side, switch the ball to them, and he can run up and down the line as well, because if he's playing as a left winger, then Ukros stays, and then that means Umdu can be covering that side as well, and Umar can also cover him if he's not back in time. Which brings us to the right winger. I'm gonna say it, Claude Lilebo. I think that last week he got benched, rightfully so. But he should be getting to that point where he's being told, and I hope he has been told, that listen, bro, you are getting to your limit now. You, like, the amount of chances that we are going to give you are going to start being limited because you are too relaxed, right? You understand that you need the ball to your feet, and Solomons is the one who's going to be running, but give us something, because Lilepo, we know the quality that he possesses. We have seen him play, right? And be more proactive with doing the things. Let's see Lilepo drop and collect the ball. We don't see much of that. That is why I would like to see him do being wide, just to see what he's going to do in collecting the ball as well, but also inverting and making sure that we overload the midfield areas. There's an alternative, right? There's an alternative to all of this, and an alternative goes like this: take Lilepo, play him as a left winger. Take Solomons, play him as a right winger. Take Blom, play him as a right back. That's just a long shot alternative if you want to have pace on this right wing, and then the ability of Lilep on the ball, because we also know that he can shoot. But that's an alternative. For now, we're keeping Umdu on the left and then Lilep on the right. And of course, striker, our star boy, Utuba. There's no one else. But what do you guys make of the lineup, and who do you think Nabi will actually play? Do let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals al pelumo.